Hey you guys, what's going on? My name is Celina Cordoba L, and I just wanted to thank everyone for supporting Cordoba Organics. I've been making products for a good 10 years now, really 9 officially, but 10 in terms of just experimenting with recipes and trying things out on myself and stuff. And I really wanted to, the reason why I really think that I had to create what we've created is because of the herbs and the integrity behind products. It's not to say that I didn't enjoy other people's stuff, but I started finding that they didn't work for me long term, or that I didn't have the same luster in my hair or the same results in my skin until I started making my own stuff consistently. So I just want to give homage and thanks to the process, because 10 years ago I didn't even know of any type of infusing machines. I had no clue how to diffuse certain things, but I knew the power of herbs, and I wanted to really share what it is that I learned. And the thing about herbs is one of my cats. The thing about herbs, and I'm gonna definitely do the breakdown from herbs from A to Z still, but I actually wanted to take my time and not rush into anything, and also just take time to finish out some stuff that I really wanted to complete, like just designing different envelopes and different stylized cardboard, different stylized boxes, and just different things that you guys have really encouraged me to expand and just do. So again, the reason why I started it is because, moving from a city where you're really you grow up and you're known, and I was known in Brooklyn, I sometimes found myself being so humble that I don't give myself certain credit for things. So I'm really striving to work on owning what it is I've done and being grateful. So like I was saying, in New York, I knew a lot of people and I had a great yoga community. But when I moved out here, I literally moved to Miami without knowing anybody. So when I started making products, it was really as a means to not only figure out a way to support myself and be at home with more, but also I didn't want to wait tables anymore, and I didn't want to jump into teaching yoga in studios out here based on my given circumstances in my family. Not everybody has aunts, uncles, cousins, things like that, and I remember thinking that that was going to be a problem. Like, wow, how am I going to raise this kid on his own, really by himself, without grandparents, without just me and daddy, And then I thought, that's something that I didn't have. I never had the memories of my father and mother raising me together, right? So I started really thinking outside the box and stopped punishing myself for not having a typical family or the type of energy that attracts normalcy. I'm gonna start sharing certain stories too that are kind of funny, but I keep a lot to myself, and I think that that's what I learned after just jumping into cooking more with less and doing just melanin active yoga. I started finding myself just doing a lot in front of the camera that really I loved, but I wasn't able to see a growth in my YouTube page, or see none of my videos have ever been monetized. They're not, I don't receive any funds from them. So I've always been inspired by people that do make money behind YouTube. I think it's great, but that wasn't something that was a reality of mine or my husband's. All of his videos are not monetized as well. And it just, for me, I wanted to be okay, this is great. I love the energy and the love that I'm receiving, and the critique. But is this something that's working for me in terms of being able to go to the dentist, or providing insurance for my son and myself and my family, things like that. So I really just needed to be honest and say, hey, what's working for other people isn't, the algorithm, whatever, is not necessarily opening up for me like that. And even now, I sometimes won't get more than 150, 200, and I'm not, that's what I stopped being invested in, is the numbers and the amount, because it could really mess with your head and make you deterred from doing actual work, because you're nobody's gonna see it, nobody's gonna recognize it. And if I do put things out there, the reason why I am so diligent and consistent at creating new ideas is because anything that I create, I'm sure is going to be duplicated and reproduced, and that's just the way of the world. I wanted to get out of feeling, slighted in that way, and just say, hey, save up some money, figure out a way to copyright and hire a lawyer so that you don't have certain issues. But again, you're not there right now. The first 10 years, you have to think about recipes and a line that's not only yours, but that's unique. So as soon as I came out with the Zodiac and the astrology line, you know, a couple people wrote me and were like, oh, this company's doing. So there's a part of me, and this is a confession. It's a part of me that doesn't really pay attention to what's going on in social media. And it's not to not support other people's businesses. It's really for me to stay focused on the amount of orders I have every day and on not being affected by what other people are doing. I have certain creative thoughts and I want to be able to manifest them, but if I see that if I put them out preemptively or if I don't follow through with them, then it's not anyone but my fault. It's no one's fault but my own, in terms of just not paying attention to how I might have been able to not be invested in other people copying and duplicating. So, you know, the astrology line has been out for a year and a half, 2 years now, and it brings me joy because that was something I never saw on the market. I never saw, you know, each sign with each specific, you know, dedicated herb, how to incorporate herbs in every sense of our products, not just our hair products, but our skin, everything. So I'm very grateful for the astrology line, and I wanted to thank people that spread the love and share outside of just sending me testimonials. That's the dopest, and I'm collected so many, but I so am grateful when people just take a second to share in their platforms as well, because it's not me, it's not coming from my source, and it allows others to see how it's matriculated in the world. So I just want to thank people that have done that, that have said, you know what, let me take a second and show pictures or share how the rose clay face wash and the kelp help and the banana face, how everything really works. So thank you, and an ode to you guys. The same, I don't look at specific names of people that order, or, you know, I'm not invested in like comments on, and this might be a bad thing, you know, but what I found was that it took a lot of my time, and literally from like 6 in the morning to the evening or 2 in the morning, I'm literally making products. And I don't compare how I do things to with other people. I don't know if people have a team that they work with, or if they work, you know, I don't know. I sometimes wonder how people can travel and, you know, always be seen and still have products that they distribute. You know, part of what I do requires me being present to do it. So I really had to make a choice and say, okay, I love that people are being healed and eczema is being relieved, and alopecia is being reversed, and all the things that I knew that my products could do. I'm enjoying the fact that it's working for people, but in order to make more and to be more creative and to constantly challenge myself, I can't always, you know, be on the phone or answer, and that's been something that I've been like, damn, if I only had this, and I said, don't do that, Celina. You don't. You have to think about what you do have and what you can be grateful for. So, you know, I like answering all my own emails and everything from the Rudy to the Tootie, from making the products to ordering the bottles and the oils and the essential oils and the herbs every week, and the lids that I really want, and the envelopes, and all of the different non-shea butter ingredients. It is something that's such a constant that I don't know how to necessarily just incorporate talking and thinking, because that takes away time for me being in the kitchen and producing and blending and putting things in people's envelopes. So for instance, right now, it's about 12 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock. I finished my workout, I fed the cats, I did all my plants. So there's a part of me, I did all of these last night. But then in the morning, I always get things done and packaged before the pickup time. And again, because I'm on such a routine, I have to break it up and say, look, when you go to the store, see if you could film yourself collecting herbs there. If you're at Whole Foods, take 10 minutes and share what it is you're doing. If you're at home, instead of throwing them into the envelopes right away, figure out a way to stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image of the side that you used to. I look fun. Shout out to Heavy D. Anyway, Digital Underground. I have to stop and say, look, this is what it is right now. So for the J Jam, right? The J Jam, they come in different sizes, 16, 8, 4, all of that. No, matter of fact, my conditioners only come in 16 and 8 ounces because I wanted them to come in big jars that last long. The J Jam and the Bilberry Jam, here they go. The Bilberry Jam are wonderful hair conditioners. Not only are they they have a little bit of oils in them. I'm gonna keep it real because it helps with detangling and the herbs that are used in all of these. You can't really see the color in this light, but this is a light pink because Bilberry yields a nice root pink color. But again, I don't want things to stain our towels or stuff, so I make sure that they're just not overly saturated and concentrated because, you know, you don't want to have anything in your hair that's grainy. So that's for the Bilberry. Then again, I always am selling the lemonade. They sell out of stock all the time. Not out of stock where I'm out of stock, but they sell out all the time. And I'm constantly, that's one thing that I never wanted to do was sell out of any product. I said if it's selling, then make more. So these are the pit stops. The pit stops are the herbal deodorants. They're made with arrowroot, baking soda, manoi, lemon oil, lime oil. The ingredients are ridiculous. Then we have the Gemini body wash. Gemini sells a lot because it has the fresh rosemary in it. So does the Sagittarius. For this month. The Sagittarius sells crazy because of the hawthorn in it, and it's amazing. Got little flakes of hawthorn, but it doesn't. They're not hard. They're really soft based on how I diffuse everything. But the anise oil, these are the anise hair oils. This comes with the hibiscus if you wanted to get like a set, as well as I have about 10 rosemaries made right here. So the rosemaries and the anise. Anise has so many healing benefits for your hair and for your skin. I wanted to share that with you guys. So the star anise hair oil is excellent along, like I said, with the hibiscus. The hibiscus is really dope. It's great for grays. It's also great for like damaged ends and like the shaft of your hair, making sure that it's all just really manageable and lustrous looking, and also just stimulates hair growth. All of my stuff has little drops of neem, little drops of peppermint, little drops of rosemary, stuff that you need to just stimulate all that goodness. And it's not just what's in it, but it's how it's made. It's kind of like making bacalao or gumbo. People make it differently and it comes out different because the time that it takes to make certain stuff is really what yields the flavor, and how you put what in first also means a lot. So this is a Spearmint Time shampoo. The Spearmint line is takes a little longer because funny enough, the Spearmint takes a minute to induce and just give it that nice green color. But the Spearmint line Time shampoo is amazing. Like the Aqua, I have some back here as well. Everything is back here. I wish you could see the desk really well. The Aqua shampoo is an apple cider shampoo. And again, it's got over 18 different herbs. And people write me and are like, I see the growth right away. I feel, and it's dope because you don't think that your hair can grow right away. But it's like the same thing when you transfer from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. Some people think it's the things in their hair, but it's a combination of everything. Not only have you minus all the mucoid agents, or reduced, but now you're stimulating and giving vitamins and giving life and giving a lot of different combination. Herbs work when they are together. So yes, you can have something that works great like echinacea tea or red raspberry tea. But red raspberry tea works really, really well if you throw a little bit of ginger in it, if you throw a little bit of peppermint in it. The combinations are extremely good. So this is the Cancer body wash. The Cancer body wash, I have the Capricorn body wash today, the Gemini Salve. Like I said, the Gemini is really great because it has the frankincense and it has a really nice amount of lavender. And the lavender with the frankincense and the bergamot, it's just incredible. And it's got like a pinch of grapefruit, like lime in here that cuts all like the headachy scents you get sometimes with using lavender. So that's the Gemini. Then you have the ethers. I wish you guys could see the whole table. The ethers, the Victory Roses, and the Pisces. So the Victory Rose is made with a lot of calendula. I'm gonna try to scoot back a little because I want you to see me, but at the same time, I feel like I'm right in the camera. Okay, so the Victory Roses, the Pisces, the musical hairs, along with the hair magics. Let me get that. The musical hairs along with the hair magics. Here we go. Bang, boom, bing. So the two big bottles. The musical hairs along with the hair magic, they work incredible. There are different herbs and ingredients in each. Some have a little, you'll read it and you'll see. But the ingredients in them really, you also want something that melts right into your hair shaft, right into your hair. And I've noticed stuff with shea butter, anything with beeswax, anything that sticks is not good for my locks because they're very thick and I don't like things to stay like looking heavy in it. So you want to have stuff, I don't know if you can see my locks, that really just melt. So again, the hair magic along with the musical hairs is incredible. I'm gonna stay right here for a couple minutes. The musical hairs is incredible. We did the Capricorn, the vetiver bay, and the acai cinnabon. These have been out for like 9 years, so I'm always so grateful because, you know, I didn't think that people would really be attracted to vetiver and stuff like that, but it works so well. Relieves headaches, relieves migraines, tension, really allows for sleep. People that have insomnia or suffer from a little bit of insomnia will find that this works really, really well. It's also just great for balancing your cortices. Like people that are bipolar and do suffer from depression, you really wouldn't think that essential oils could help with depression and with all of those just cortisy issues, mind issues. But if you do any research, especially for people that are suffer from autism, don't do that, sweetie, because I don't want it to stop. Suffer from autism, come here, cutie. Or, let me see if he's safe. Hi, Moops. Suffers from autism or any type of learning disability, they find that essential oils really do help therapy-wise. And they're hella excited right now because when I work, I don't have them in the room that I blend stuff in. I always have them in the back room or in the sunroom in the front, just so that they don't bother me or are in anything. Hey, sweetheart. But let me give you a little stomach rub so you just chill out. But all of the products are made with over like 8 to 13 different herbs in each one. And then you're like, damn, how do you do that? I have so many glass, like huge glass carafes that I basically, okay, boo-boo, you can get down if you want, or you can stay. I basically use to infuse and to keep everything, that once I make like certain concoctions, I put like a huge amount to the side, just so I have like, okay, this is the rosemary, whatever, this is gonna go into this. So it's organized, but you have to start really small and then take your time in growing stuff, making sure he doesn't turn it off. The Leo body wash and salve work amazing, as well as the Libra, because of the real helichrysum in it. Amazing. Helichrysum is so calming for your skin, and a lot of people think that it's just, matter of fact, I have a couple of these bubble wrap, but this is face, right? Face and foy. Foy, I don't know how many of y'all have seen how many companies have products with roses in it now, but they are learning slowly. You can't throw roses in oil and expect the roses to be extracted or the energy from the rose to be extracted in the oil. It looks pretty, but I trust mine because I can feel and see the difference in terms of the viscosity. Like when you squeeze something in your hand, you can tell how long it's gonna last as well as how heavy it is. And it's a real fine science to not have something be oily and heavy, especially that you use on your face, but that still has all the healing properties for your skin. So it's great. Roses are great, but when you combine them with different herbs, especially over 125 degrees, and you do that for you do that for a while, you're going to see a difference in the color and the viscosity of your product. And I trust mine because I said, look, I want calendula. I would like a little bit of fresh rose in there. And of course, Hungarian rose is great, but how do I include just like cherry, and how do I include argan and the pumpkin seed butter and pumpkin oil? How do I put the walnut oil? How do I do all of this to make a product that's not going to overstimulate our skin? And it comes from testing with litmus sticks, pH, and years of practice. Sometimes people jump into something because they see it's a good idea, but they've never practiced. It's like anything with yoga. Sometimes people will come out and be like, wow, are you what do you, and I've just been doing it for a while, like anything that you spend time and just really trying to develop, you'll start to see a little bit of growth. So the products that I made, the recipes were great, but how I know how to make them now has given me a lot more freedom, a lot more creative permission slips to just kind of go outside the box, which is how I discovered how to make a lot of stuff, by not following what other people were doing. So, okay, I showed you guys foil. Oh, look, this is a small face. So face is great because it's good for diaper rash. It's good for people that have a lot of broken outness around their sensitive areas. And children with eczema that might have sensitivities with certain essential oils. This is great because it's essential oil free. You can rub it. I rub it everywhere. I'm also in the process of making something. You'll see it's going to be really, really nice. But for women that, just for women, and all of my products are unisex. But I highlight certain things like Birthrights is specifically made for women in mind post giving birth because it's so dope. It's got like 8 different herbs floating in the bottle. And I'm not one to charge for how many herbs I choose to put in. What I do charge for is the time it takes and the specificity of each recipe. Like the conditioners, it really takes a while to infuse the herbs in them, but I make them at such a big amount now, like 16, 18 ounce. So I'm not as shocked. Like if I see 4 16 ounce, I get the huge bin out and I'm able to put 1 16 ounce and then I times the recipe times 4. So I'm able to do stuff in a way where I can see, okay, I'm getting better and I'm thinking, but of course you want to be able to hire and think. You also don't want to bring the wrong energy into your home if you still are working in a space that you value, in terms of like, yeah, I could open a studio, but that's just for me going to invite more energy to physically be present, but it might take away from production time because this is really just something that I do. And yeah, I can teach people, but that's going to take time. So while I'm thinking of all those time requirements, I'm also thinking of what consistently has to be produced. So because it's something that I want to make sure is out and people aren't waiting more than 3 to 5 days, it's something I have to do every day from sunup to sundown. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I really love what I do. So this is the Vaselina. It's also really good for people with extremely dark spots or the dry spots. Like starting all this, I know, I'm sure you guys could see my keloids. I used to hate sitting with my knees just in front like that because I always was like, my knee scars. I've worn burn stockings, But over the years, in using my own products and in making my own stuff, I've really seen such a difference. And then I have a spider bite from a brown recluse, which supposedly is like an annihilation spider. It takes everyone out. You become paralyzed. You can have amputations. I just read this. So, for me to have my shoulder and my arm when I had this in Brooklyn, sitting under a fireplace, just chilling. Oh my God, what's that? I feel, and a hole burrowed in my shoulder so deep that I could see the tendons, the bone structure. And I swear, if it wasn't for holistic doctor Michael Davison at the time, shout outs to late great Michael Dr. Davison, who you had a spot in Brooklyn, right in Crown Heights. He put a cigar right to the base of the bite, and all this energy started pussing out. All this pus came to the surface. It was so gross, but it was so amazing because he was like, I'm not giving you, you're allergic to penicillin. All you're gonna need is an antibacterial. You don't want to have bacteria, and I was thinking of the word with penicillin, an antiviral, like, when you have a bacteria. I don't know why that word isn't working in my mouth right now. Anyway, you're gonna need something antifungal and something that isn't gonna create more bacteria. But the cigar what the cigar did is it opened it up, it closed it out, it cinched it, and then it was just literally a healing process after that. But I had such a dark hole looking like a bullet stab wound that, again, frustrated with different burns, different scars, different hypertrophic everythings. And I just said, look, I gotta stop complaining about the products that I do like. You know, a half an ounce cost $86. I used to use these products back in the day that were so dope, but there were little vials. And because I worked at this spot in Brooklyn called, it was not Paralandra, but I didn't work there. It's a spot in Park Slope. I forgot it. It starts with the B. Anyway, I worked there when I was young, like 17, 18. And I used to take the little tester vials and ask to get the little, and I used to use them, and that's really what opened me up to being like, this is apricot, this is this. And this one small little tester company, I used to really just be grateful that I worked there because I could at least get all the testers and try them out. And it's really what opened me up. And I was like, wow, the magic of oils and the fact that we were taught that oils cause your skin to be more glandular, sebaceous, breaking out pimples. No, it's a combination of your diet, how alkaline your skin is, meaning how hydrated, and the type of energy you're also around. Are you stressed out all day? Are you not? Little stuff like that. So all of this, let me move this over a little bit. I have so much gratitude for the people that do consistently purchase and have encouraged me to do more, because there's a dime a dozen skincare products and people that have created stuff, and most are famous women, and fame always trumps in, you know, consistency in a lot of different ciphers. So I really want to thank people for supporting the underdog, supporting someone like myself who might not be very known, but I'm really striving to go in the kitchen and work, produce, send stuff the same day if I can, if not the next day, 2 days. Be grateful for how much you guys have just written, and it's encouraged me to not stop. I used to feel like if I'm not getting, you know, if I'm doing all this and it's not growing, then what's the purpose in doing this? So for me to actually be able to see certain growth and to see certain, like, okay, I have a whole book, like to see certain stuff, all of my 80 plus labels that I designed all on my own, and literally took time to figure out what might work best in the label, and having faith that my URL across the front 9 years ago was going to work, and now seeing that that's something that's matriculated in other people's businesses, and just being grateful, being so grateful for the magic of herbs, and having received my doctorate. But again, I received my doctorate in holistic sciences in 2002 to 2003. Asir did the program as well, but he did his own thing after, like you could basically, anyway, I finished mine. And what I realized even during that process is I know a lot of herbs, but it wasn't until I started using them, it wasn't until I started making them a part of my daily practice that I could really remember what each herb was good for. And again, herbs they're universally healing, but not everybody can use what might work for you. So you really want to not necessarily just jump into just using herbs to heal. If you have any type of imbalance with your liver or your spleen or your pancreas or your uterus or extra anything, it can affect a lot of the balance of your body. So I really, over the years, have learned to humble myself and say, okay, I know what the definitions of these things are, but how do they work? What do they feel like? What does it feel like in my body after using it for 6 to 12 months? Is it something that I can encourage other people? That's actually why I know soy isn't the best for people with fibroids. It's not because I read it anywhere. It's because I stopped eating soy to see. I had one fibroid at the time, and I found out about it after the loss of my first son. But one fibroid, and that's really when I started testing. When I eliminated all, like, wheat gluten, fake links, fake tofu, when I stopped eating that, like 15 years ago, almost 20 now, 15 years ago, that's when the fibroid dissipated. No, it's 15 years. Fibroid dissipated. Little stuff started to switch up. And I never suffered from like cramps or anything, but after having that miscarriage, you know, it wasn't a large fire. What happened that Celina went to labor at 8 months, you know, that's not normal. And then to have a stillbirth at my size, it really could have deterred me from wanting to try again. But I'm grateful that I did, because we're sitting in that back room, and I was a woman that had a cerclage. So I actually went through a lot to have a more, and I learned like how to not have cramping, how to not have internal bleeding or any type of issues, not to have bloating around my kidneys because they were really working overtime with him. Stuff like that. So I just want to encourage people to always remember that there is a natural solution to everything out there that's chemical based, and to not feel as though, you know, they have to always support stuff that's in stores, because if you turn over and you see water, mineral oil, safflower oil, soy oil, these are all blockers and things that are going to reduce our melanin from matriculating, from healing our skin, from healing other issues. People forget that melanin and your pituitary gland and your pineal gland have a very unique relationship with one another. But instead of even boring and being about all that, this is what I mean. Like, great, you know all that, but how do I flip that into something that's going to help my crying baby at night, or that's going to help my dandruff, or that's going to help, you know, guy wrote me the other day and he was like, I've had scabies for so long, hair, body, day 2 of using your products. And it just made me humble, because it's like, wow, I thank you for sharing this with me, because I wouldn't have known that my stuff could heal scabies right away unless somebody with scabies or with impetigo or with wingworm wrote me and was like, yo, thank you. So I'm very grateful. CordobaOrganics.com. These are all, oh, I didn't share this. Let me pick this up and pick that up. I didn't share coffee. Coffee Balm's an all-time favorite. It sells like crazy, but it's really got a lot of coffee extract in it. And again, a lot of people will grind stuff like coffee. You don't want to necessarily always use scrubbing and exfoliants, especially near or around your neck, your face. No, you don't need it. The Petoro, as well as the Shungite hand sanitizer. I'm grateful that people are also aware of the magic of Shungite. It really is a dope-ass little crystal. Same thing with the rose clay alchemy, along with the cherry, along with the banana face, they're all here, but they're wrapped, so I don't think it makes much sense to show. Banana face alchemy, Calp Help, rose clay, cherry, the foy. Foy stands for fountain of youth. Some people have really liked the concept and I guess have duplicated it, but again, I always say I must be on to something good if not only is the name and the likeness being used, but literally you can do all of that. But the recipe on how someone brings something together, I always say, well, you know, it's not my job to chase and to think and to say, but integrity goes so far. And when you know that you've made something without, you know, stealing the idea or stealing the concept from another, there's something else that radiates and that allows you to relax and just allow people to be where they're at. You don't always have to talk about what you've accomplished and what you've done really well. Just sit back, enjoy the ride, and allow people to see the benefits by actually using them every day and going, wow, you know, I never knew that my keloid or that my spider bite scar or whatever it may be, over time can fade and can be healed, you know, especially when we have darker skin, and it's so taught to us that our skin will scar or it doesn't have different layers or different, I say layers of color because it does, you know, in certain sun and certain light I can look totally midnight black, and then in other sun, you know, in other light you'll see the freckles in my face, or you'll see, and those things aren't things to be proud of, but they're things that make me who I am. So I stopped wanting to erase the sunspots on my skin and say, well, how can I create a SPF sun-kissed, or how can I, and that's been out for 9 years now, how can I create a mosquito repellent halt or a sunscreen that I could wear all day that's not going to be heavy and have oxalates in them and all this other stuff? How can I create something that's going to fine-tune all of my little sunspots, but also not bleach my skin over time? You can use stuff that like bilberry or anise combined with hawk. Little stuff you can combine that you'll start to see will lighten and brighten your skin, but brightening your skin isn't going to destroy the melanin that allows you to produce melanin, or the melanocytes that allow you to produce the color in your skin. So again, that's exactly why I like bilberry, and I'm about to come out this week with the bilberry body balm that's not just for your hair, but it's all for your body. And it's got pomegranate and bilberry. And again, pomegranate is not easy to infuse because when you start, everything opens up. It's not like you can shed the pomegranate, and using pomegranate juice and pomegranate powder is totally different than using the actual pomegranate fruit, is what I've noticed. So I wanted to use the actual fruit, infuse that with the bilberry and figure out, and it didn't really work until I figured out how to use all of like antioxidant fruits. So I got a whole thing, kind of like it was Thanksgiving. I got a whole thing with cranberry, pomegranate, and I just went to work one Sunday and wanted to see the difference in what each fruit retained and brought out. So once I combined, I said, yo, that you're doing this, don't even do them one at a time. Throw it all in like a smorgasbord and see what it comes out like with the bilberry as the base. So it's amazing. And if you've tried the blueberry and the strawberry and the peachade that's made with comfrey root and marigold, you're gonna feel the difference as to why they are like $4 more. Sometimes, you know, it's like I'm not really making, but I also don't want to deter people from purchasing something with 13 different herbs in it and charge for each. That's whack. So I sometimes just say, well, make a lot of different things, so you don't have to charge $45 for one product. Like, it's worth that, but it's not fair to people. And would you, Celina, be able to consistently purchase this? And yeah, I can. Now I can definitely say I would purchase a lotion that is $80 a week, but that's basically what I make for myself, like an $80 lotion a week. And I OD, but it literally costs about $80, $90 to make just the body lotion that I'll use. And I switch it up every week, but because I can play around with stuff like that, it's kind of fun and nice to do. And I just wanted to put stuff that had concentrated amounts of herbs in it that were going to work long term and that weren't going to be oily and clouded by shea butter. No disrespect to people that use it, but it's not something that I wanted to include in any of my products. So to see that, I'm very grateful for. So again, thank you guys that have had faith and that said, you know what, let me try. But I was talking about the blueberry and the bilberry and the acai and the peachade. The peachade, I wanted to create it like lemonade, but I said this is with peach, and it smells so amazing, my goodness. And just using a little bit of peach concentrate in it, and knowing how to not have things spoil, like go bad, that I can put something in a jar, and I've done this. Put something in a jar, and I'll put it under my bathroom sink. And literally, because I just know that I can stay another year, I signed my lease again. I looked and I was like, oh my God, look at all these products. And they're in pristine, yummy. And I said, it's because of the grapeseed, it's because of the extract, it's because, but yeah, you have to use certain preserves, you know, things that preserve your products, but know how much. Because when you use too much, they can make your products acidic and rank. So you want to know exactly, and that's why I said I do trust what it is I do, because I've kind of meticulous about things like that and really took the time and didn't jump in and didn't gather a whole team before I figured out what really worked, and at least giving myself a time period, at least 15, 10 years of just playing around with herbs from 20 to 30, and then saying, okay, I've got my handle on a number of herbs and how they really work. But what does that mean? How am I going to make them available for the mass? Lots of people. And again, I'm not working in a factory, so how can I turn over at least 200 products a day and still be able to exercise and make my son dinner and take care of cats? And mind you, I'm so grateful for these cats because I've been allergic to cats my whole life. So having them in the house, having 3 in the house consistently has also taught me a lot. So I'm definitely going to share with people that might have cat allergies. It's definitely a wheat flour, dairy maintenance. You will not OD, because if you do, you will feel it when your cat is sitting close to your face. So again, thank you for supporting CordobaOrganics.com. I decided to just take a minute and literally sit in the sun for a second and say thank you to you all. So I just really want to thank you for all the support. There's a lot of sales going on right now, a lot. Every month, the astrology sign for that month is going to be like 40-50% off. It's hard to do 50. I'm going to figure out 50% off on it this week, but 50% off just to encourage people under that sign to purchase something, even if it's just their little package of the body wash and the balm, because I say, you know, if you feel the consistency of one thing, you're going to go, okay, I see what's different about this. Let me try. And when people do, it just really humbles me, because you don't have to. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. CordobaOrganics.com. And again, if you want me to know, like, hey, this is me and I always say, if somebody famous purchased from me, they would have to write, or I wouldn't know, because I'd have to look at the name, and then, you know, there's 1,000 people with the same. I wouldn't think that Madonna, if I saw Madonna, was actually Madonna. Like, she would have to be like, yo, I'm Madonna, like a virgin. And I'd be like, oh shit, Madonna. Stuff like that, because I'm not caught up in who and how. I'm really striving to treat everybody the same with this as well. And I've noticed that as well. People that spend $3 to $5 and people that spend $50 to $100, it's not fair that the people that spend a little are treated differently. So I really send free handmade lip balm with everybody's order. And I'm also just in a space where I'm just really grateful, because I remember when I was thinking about all these things, and it was like no one believed. I had to believe in myself and say, look, with everything that's going on, let me not get caught up in teaching and always being, and because, you know, there's a lot of channels that do great in talking about gossip type stuff, like what people are doing or what celebrities are doing. And as soon as I found myself going down that route of just like utilizing my channel to just say, hey, have y'all noticed? I said, Celina, what can you do in your life to better? What are you looking for? I said, security. After losing my mother in my home, I am hungry for security and consistency. And when you don't have that, like a home or a Thanksgiving or, you know, anywhere to return to, you start feeling as though you're not good, or something you did to attract this experience in your life. And it's not the case. Sometimes things happen to challenge us and bring the best out in the worst situations. So for myself, I'm really grateful that I understood that security was what it was, and I'm not gonna get anywhere if I don't jump in and start. And that can be a hard pill to swallow when you're waiting tables with a college degree, but how many people have had to do that with college degrees? Thousands. So swallow your pride and know that it's gonna get better. You're gonna pay off your student loan, and in a couple years, you'll be able to make what you're writing out. You'll be able to actually design a label for Peachade. You'll be able to do that. But, you know, I'm saying that to encourage people that it doesn't happen overnight. And that for me took place Amor was born in 2008. That took place in 2006, that I was really like, I know exactly what I want to do, but, you know, I didn't have any way out. And you just take it a day at a time. And again, going to Syracuse, I had over $50,000 in student loans, and that was just a very humbling piece of pie. So to all of those, you can get out of it. It takes a really long time, especially if you don't have family help. But those of us and those of you all that do, stay living with your mom and your dad if they are allowing you to. Save your money and don't punish yourself for not having it all right away. What you see in social media isn't always what matriculates in people's reality. So take a step back. Don't always feel like you need to, but when you do accomplish and are in a space of gratitude, I'm really just trying to challenge myself to get in front of the camera more and say, make time, because if you don't, the opportunities to just sit here and be grateful and thank you guys and share can dissipate. So thank you all. CordobaOrganics.com. I'll see you soon.